Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. It is 8 p.m. It's Monday night, and that can only mean one thing. It's the Four Horsemen of the Toon. And as you may well see, Barry has changed dramatically. Unfortunately, Barry is unwell today, so we're joined by Martin, one of the loaded boys, because obviously we're going to do a loaded horseman show at some point, so we thought we'd gently ease them into the situation. Martin, how are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Listen, thanks very much for having us on. I know I'm not as good looking as Baz, but I'll, looking at the other two lads, I haven't got too much to keep up with, so I should be all right, I reckon.
Yeah, well, Peter, you're all shacked up there with your new background, which is very impressive.
Yeah, I thought, why take out the drain this time? Whatever.
Yeah, the drain. It's solved. It's had its purpose, hasn't it? Well, me and Peter are both rocking the new Castore home tops, which I have to say are very snug around my big guns. But you know, if you're going to buy one, guys, I would definitely go for a size up to what you normally wear. That's a bit of shopping advice from the Four Horsemen. Obviously, last night was a really, really sad event in England, going out on penalties. You know, so sad. It could have come home. It didn't. You know, everybody was gutted last night. I mean, Peter, me, you and John were on a watch along together, and I disappeared without a trace afterwards because I was genuinely gutted. My kids were devastated. You know, it was just everybody was up for the match, and then all of a sudden it got taken away. Martin, what were your thoughts on the final yesterday?
Do you know what? I've had any untold amount of grief, don't my little lad. Go on. Today, because obviously living in Ireland, pretty much the entire country was supporting Italy last night. So
yeah, I can imagine.
As soon as the final penalty was missed, I was inundated with very creative texts, memes, DMs. Yeah. Some were quite polite, others were fairly expletive. But you know, game wise, I thought other than the first 20 minutes, I thought we were outplayed. I thought tactically, I would say. You know, I don't want to, like a lot of people that listen, me and you have tweeted backwards and forth today. Yep. I've seen a lot of shit. You know, if you start with Southgate, I think over the tournament, and I'm not going to bash him because I think he got lots right, and it's a young squad, and you know the comments and the abuse the three lads who missed got is just absolutely fucking nonsense. So let's put that straight. But I think tactically he got it wrong. You know, if you look at Bonucci and Chiellini, two of the oldest centre-backs in the tournament, and with the pace that England have, and we didn't go at them at all the entire game. And I think he got it wrong. I think he got the timing of the substitutions wrong. Yeah. And I think the game went away from us. And we could have been doing well in the second half with earlier subs. Grealish, for me, should have come on earlier. I thought Mount did very little. But yeah, it drifted away. We should have and had enough to win that game, in my opinion, with the players we had, and I don't think he utilised them right. So, you know, the penalties. Once it gets to that, it's a lottery, lads. So you know, so goalkeeper's either going to be hero or goalkeeper's going to be a zero. Yeah. So either way. But look, fair ball. Saka stepped up. I don't understand his position as the fifth penalty, given Southgate's experience with penalties. And disappointment and heartbreak, I find it quite ludicrous that Saka was at fifth.
Well, it's very strange because Jack Grealish has come out today on social media and said to stop bashing him because he actually volunteered to take one. He told Southgate he wanted to take one, and Southgate already had his list. So it's Southgate's went off what he classed as, you know, what he'd been doing in training. The guys were taking penalties in training, but for me, so disappointing. But John, you'll have whacked a few out today in celebration of the Italians winning. Celebrating with your mate in the dungeon.
Look, first off, right, I want England doing the whole thing, right? But that's the first step. But
bullshit.
But honestly, right? I mean, I'm not being funny. I mean, I watched the highlights again, right? And I gotta say that Italy should have won that game in 90 minutes. I mean, I thought we started well. Yes, we did. I'll give you Martin there. I thought we outfought as well later in the first half and the second half. I thought we was all around the midfield. He said that Bonucci and Chiellini could have got at. I thought, to be fair, they weren't really tested. I mean, Harry Kane didn't get anywhere near them whatsoever. But the closest got close to Chiellini was Saka, where he got pulled back. Yeah, the card. But I thought, man of the match last night. I think Chiesa was my man on the match last night. I mean, he's
fantastic, isn't he?
First guy. I watched a lot of him, so yeah. And I tell you what, he's on a 2-year loan deal for Fiorentina. Going to be turned permanent. And this guy, for me, I mean, if he had stayed on the whole 9 minutes, Italy would have won that game. They should have won that game inside 90 minutes. They had chances. And England's second half was very, very poor at this moment. And you've got to say kudos to Mancini. But let me just say this quickly, right? I mean, a couple of years ago, he didn't qualify for the World Cup, right? Mancini picked up the pieces, right, from that lure and took them where they are now, right? It was hard work, but I tell you something, right? He did something which made their talent happy. And also the players believed in him. And the football's being played for the whole of the tournament is so exciting. But I'm not telling, but listen, the best team won. They're the best team in the tournament. You can't argue with that. And for me, I mean, Syria is back. And yeah, they deserve it.
Well, I mean, Peter, I've looked at it again, and I'm under no illusions that Jorginho should have been sent off for that challenge on Grealish.
Absolutely.
It was a horrible tackle. We saw it at the time, and when we said that should have been a red card. And some of the sendings off that we've actually seen this season, sorry, not this season, but in the tournament, you know, some of the really silly ones, and then that one. I mean, studs up. I mean, he even put the ball into an egg shape, you know, because his studs were that high. It was just wrong.
Oh, I mean, that could have been a serious injury to Jack Grealish. Luckily, nothing serious happened to him, but that looked a very nasty one. I mean, I've seen reds given for them, and why wasn't VAR looking at it? Paddy, it's done okay in this tournament, not compared to what it has in the Premier League. But yeah, that had a night off. I
think it was a clear and obvious error by the referee.
It is. I mean, that is.
He was looking right at it as well, which is painful.
He was right there. That's the most annoying thing about it.
I think the thing with that though is if Jorginho is another 5-6 centimeters further up, that's Grealish's knee completely hit, and it was for the ref to look at it, not get nothing, and not even a second check. I thought was really, really poor from the VAR team.
Let's have a look at some comments, because as usual, we've got bags of them already in, and you know, so we are going to be behind again with the comments as we are every single Monday night. So, Lee, good evening. Disappointing night last night. Hard way to lose the match on penalties. Gutted for Saka, but he's got a bright future ahead of him. The nation should be giving him love instead of hate from racist idiots. He also goes on to say it's about time those in authority, such as government, police, and the FA, etc., taught these racist idiots a lesson by punishing them in the strongest possible way, whether that's prison sentence or other ways. Personally, I think they should just bring back police brutality and just knock the fuckers out. 1892, Miles, clearly taking the knee before the match isn't working. There's still racist twats out there. How do you see this coming to a desperately needed stop? I don't know. I mean, many people are asking that question. We you know, certainly we're not in a situation to do anything about it. It has to be done by the authorities. And you know, what amazes me is the likes of Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and all of these social media accounts will ban people for the slightest little swear word at times, yet racism never seems to get you a ban, and it's just shocking, the whole thing. Lisa, Southgate should never have allowed Saka to take the penalty when there was experienced professionals available, such as Sterling, Grealish and Shaw. We've already said about Jack Grealish. He said he wanted to take one. Now, who knows if Sterling said that? Luke Shaw, we don't know. Southgate has come out and said that was his list of players that he wanted to take the penalties because of what had been going on in training.
Based on training, yeah.
Valentino Lazaro could be returned to St James's Park next season. The player is negotiating a return, with Newcastle considering taking him back, this time on a permanent deal. Any thoughts, guys, on that one?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Really, he's been linked. Like, he's not going to get recruited into Milan, sort of thing, though. Not under Simone Inzaghi. But if he comes back, sort of thing, permanent deal, you know what? I'll give him another try, but not at expense of ASM, because he's been linked to Everton apparently. But would I take him back to Sarro? I say yes, I would.
Well, he never got a chance. Bruce didn't play him, so why is Lazaro going to think? Oh, yeah, I'll go back to Newcastle. I'm going to get plenty of football there, because I thought, Martin, when Lazaro played, he was decent.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the game he played. I think probably his best game was the 4-1, I think, down at Bournemouth, and where he scored down there.
Yeah,
he played all right.
Yeah.
Probably like John, like who's he come in for? I mean, for me, I think I'd like to see Manquillo get a run as well. Mm-hmm. We've got good players there. It depends on how he's going to set up again this season. We were talking about this on Loaded the other night, and we were getting lads saying, what do who we're going to sign this season, and we said, and I think we said it, Paul, when you were on with us,
yeah,
we're probably not going to sign anybody. It's probably going to be investment in youth, and if anything, a couple of loan deals until this deal for the club is either done or dead. I don't think we'll see anybody. So if Lazaro's a loan with an option, or is he a buy? Nobody seems to know. Obviously, we've had other deals done, but
yeah,
I'm not convinced if he's going to come back and sit on the bench. Why would you?
It's crazy. Lisa, Southampton are targeting Newcastle midfielder Isaac Hayden as well for around £10 million. I think that's a joke for £10 million personally. I think at least 15 for Hayden. But why would we want to sell Isaac Hayden? I don't understand. And the first naughty one of the night, guys, it comes from guess who?
Chippers.
Yes.
Apparently, EDF Energy have approached John and Joelinton as the size of their cocks are big enough for windmill usage for offshore turbines. Holy cow. James, thoughts about the new home shirt? It looks like I think it looks nice, and I'm a big fan of the blue strip on the back of the shirt. I think it looks nice. Listen, me and Peter are wearing them tonight. I quite like it, although it is bacon. I don't know what's going on with the weather, but it's so warm at the minute. Yeah, it's been peeing down all day, but it is still warm, and I'm sweating like a moose. Chipper says, John said that custard tasted nice. Joelinton replied, saying there is more of that where it came from. Now on your knees.
Oh,
wow.
Chippers then says, for me, Southgate has to take full responsibility for last night. We bottled it 1-0 up. We looked legless and needed freshness. Mancini saw the problem and fixed it. Southgate didn't. Yeah, I mean, I think personally, this is my personal opinion, I think Southgate was outcoached last night. I really do.
Yeah.
Mancini saw in that first half things were wrong. He tweaked it a little bit in the second half, and Italy were just thoroughly dominant. And, if we're being very honest, football fans, Italy should have won. In that second half, they dominated. We looked lifeless. We had nothing up front, and I said to you guys on the watch along, the ball was coming back so easily. It wasn't sticking up front. I feel like we were overloaded with defensive players, so when we were attacking, we weren't getting. Italy were just picking them off, and it was all Italy again. Having said that, extra time, I thought we were the better side. Looking at it again, but unfortunately, it wasn't to be. We've just got to say, right, we made the final this time, maybe in the World Cup. I don't know what you guys think, right? But this is my honest opinion. I don't really enjoy the way England play football. I don't enjoy it. I don't think there's one game in them Euros, even the victory over the Ukraine, where I sat and thought, wow, I've really enjoyed that performance. We've absolutely gone at them. I don't think we've done that, guys.
No, I wouldn't say we have as well. We've been passed.
Go on, carry on, Pete.
Well, it's just passing back sideways. We're doing far too many times. And
I think that comes though from Southgate being a defender. His auto thought is to set up defensively with a chance of counter-attacking. And okay, that works if you use the players who have that pace and you set up right. But if you look at last night, and some people, like I watched Shearer and a few of them talking last night saying, Harry Kane played a perfect centre's role, dropping back, pulling defenders and everything else. Bollocks, he didn't. I want to see Harry Kane with a number 9 on, sitting on the top of Chiellini, arms in the air, elbows out, everything else getting stuck in with balls coming in wide from Shaw or Sterling or Saka or whatever.
Especially when you've got that age gap, that age between the two central defenders. Kane should have been in that 18-yard box, and everybody said it, But again, we didn't have people to put the ball in the box most of the time because we were just not holding it up enough. First 25 minutes, yes, we did well, but we didn't react to when Italy changed a little bit of things. We didn't, and we paid the price for that in the long run. Keith says, good evening, Paul and the A-team. James says, what do Jeff Hurst and the Magician have in common? Both do hat-tricks.
Oh,
God. James, I'm not convinced Southgate is the man to take England forward. Don't get me wrong, credit where credit's due. But with the crop of players we had last night, we should be capable of winning the Euros. I actually agree with that. I think the talent that we had on that bench, I mean, I like to see attacking football. All of us do after watching Newcastle for so long. We just think, Christ, does it still exist? But you're right what you say, Pete. It's a sideways, backward passing. It's frustrating. It's a very slow build-up. And teams as good as Italy are just, they'll just
patient.
pick you off. They'll just, they'll just sit and say, right, if you're going to pass it around, we'll pick you off when we need to, and we'll get back at you the other way.
But I think the interesting thing with that was there's a heat map floating around on Twitter that shows Chiellini in the second half, the last 30 minutes of the second half, was literally playing as a holding midfielder. He was that far up the pitch.
Yeah. It was awful to watch.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
You know what it is, right, as well? I mean, I think it was in first half. First half, I think he passed the ball about 20, 25 times around the midfield, and he never even got close to it all whatsoever. Whatsoever. And it's just so embarrassing for England to see that. Not pressing, it's just having fun. And
the thing is, John, I don't think Italy, those two central defenders were expecting such an easy night last night. No. You know, when we scored after 2 minutes, fair enough, but they just calmed themselves down. And they could just sit there smoking cigars for the rest of the game.
They didn't have to work for it. That's the sad thing, Paul. Italy didn't have to break a sweat.
But you would think they'd put pace on. You'd think we'd have a bit of pace on there. That's why I was frustrated that Sancho didn't get a game. You know, he put Sancho, even Rashford using his pace, get at them. Because, they've played so many extra times, Italy. You know, they're going to be knackered. But hey-ho. I mean, they did really well. And hats off to Italy because, they are a very, very good side. Tom says, would you take Mancini to Newcastle when the takeover's complete? 100% I would have Mancini.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's one of the best players in the world. I mean,
if anybody says that, I mean, when he was Manchester City manager, everybody said, it's just because of the money and the players he was able to bring in. He's just proved over this tournament what a world-class manager he is. Because like you say, John, from where Italy were to where they are now, it's completely different philosophy. They play different football. They're together as a team. I mean, I don't know whether you've seen the Jorginho's video on Twitter today when they're on the plane singing the national anthem and all the players are sort of, cuddling each other. And there's just such a connection there. And Mancini's done all that. And that's why, when people ask a question saying, would you like Mancini at Newcastle? It's not even in debate. James,
I think you've got to be a very good man manager. I mean, John watches a lot more Serie A than I do. But I think to take that bunch of Italian players, John, and get them from where that squad was to then go 33 unbeaten and win the Euros, it's not just about tactics because there's a lot of egos in that team, and a lot of big players.
And a lot of
to get them running as one. Yeah, absolutely. Is a feat.
And the fact is, right, the fact of the matter is, they believe in each other, they work out for each other. Look at the centre-backs. Bonucci, Chiellini, they both play for Juventus. They all understand each other. They've been playing together for a long, long time. Okay, Bonucci went to Milan for a season and came back. And then, they've got connection there. It's all about connection in that team. And there's plenty of that. Yeah. That's why they play the best football. That's why they're winning games. 34 games undefeated. Do you know what I mean? Simple.
It's incredible.
But I think the other thing as well is they're not afraid of a little bit of shithousery as well. Like you look at Chiellini pulling Saka back. Like he knows he's going to take a yellow, but at the end of the day, he did whatever was required to make sure
he did it for the team.
Whereas we don't have that in us. It's kind of like we get a few fouls, but like there's just no shithousing in house.
People were putting on social media that should have been a send. Was it bollocks a sending off? It was a professional foul.
Yeah, exactly.
But Saka wasn't clean in on goal. Plus Saka handballed it. You know what I mean? But I mean, he did what he had to do for the team winning. And if I was in it, if that was Harry Maguire doing that in the last few moments of the game, I'd be applauding him. But. Some people are crazy. Who would you like to see replace Southgate? Arsene Wenger would be a decent shout. Listen, Southgate's going to be in charge for the World Cup. Let's not beat around the bush. I take Mancini at Newcastle, played a massive part in City becoming the club they are now after the Saudis bought them and Mark Hughes left. To be honest, he didn't really have big boots to fill in Mark Hughes. Both England and Ireland were planning on hosting the 2030 World Cup following yesterday's embarrassment from so-called supporters. I can't see UEFA allowing that to happen now. I mean, obviously, I'm not even going to give them airtime because they're just arseholes. Just spoil it for everybody else.
Paul, I sent you a tweet yesterday on a DM. I mean, I posted a tweet out, right? Absolutely livid for it. Now, looking at Claire as well, Claire Marshall's tweets as well, she said exactly the same thing. And one of them called her out as well. Not one of them. Yeah, it just goes to show that if you've got something to say to us, or you're going to swear us on Twitter, sort of thing, do it well, or you're blocked.
Yeah, they won't though, John. You know what they're like, man. You know what they're like. Chipper says, John, did you text Mancini last night after Italy's win after sucking on Joelinton's cornetto?
Oh.
No.
Lee says Jamie Sterry has agreed a 2-year contract extension at newly promoted Hartlepool after being linked with Sunderland. Well, that says it all if he turns Sunderland down for Hartlepool. Italy goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma named player of the tournament, but who was your best player? For me, it was Chiesa.
Yeah, I think he was magnificent.
I just
Chiesa all day long.
Martin, how about you?
Do you know what? Just for the fact of his shithousery last night, the age, and being the captain he is, I'll go with Chiellini.
Yeah,
I mean, 8 out of 10 out of 10, or
yeah, I'd say probably an 8 last night. But yeah. I think that the thing for me is that consistency at that age, and as a top pro, I think, and then to take that team, as you said, that were out of shape when Mancini took them, to them run 33 games last night before that game, and to pick that trophy up, I think is a great sign of a professional. So
not only that, Martin, we look at it, right? They played in big games. The players we've got also played big games, not in the intensity of those two guys. If they've won, so they won the World Cup, they won big games, right? And they got that upstairs, and that's why they got it. They know what it's all about. They know what pressure game is, and this is one of them. You know what I mean? I hope our young players learn from them. But at the end of the day, you're right. I thought Chiellini was magnificent yesterday. It's
a very long time since we've had 23 minutes on this Four Horsemen show of actual football. I'm a little bit concerned. Guys, if you do enjoy the show, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not already done so, please do consider subscribing. Also to Pete's channel and John's channel and the Loaded Boys as well. I'll put all the descriptions down in the descriptions. I'll put all the links in the description below. So go and get yourself subscribed to their channels as well. Now, John, while we've got almost 100 watching now, we sent out a private detective to your house while you were at work the other day, who managed to break in and have a look around your house. Now, I'm about to show the viewers and everyone else.
Yeah, I've seen it. His last niece.
You haven't. We found where Joelinton lives, put it that way, and where John keeps Joelinton all locked up. But Joelinton looks perfectly happy there because he knows that things happen in this room. That I was quite shocked when I saw the photograph. Actually, it took me by surprise, and here it is. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. That is John's dungeon, with obviously the blade and racers on the back of the door. He's got a nice dustbin for all the condoms. He's got obviously his
look at Brucey looking in.
Brucey's looking in. He's obviously got his tub of Colgate there. You can see in the background over Joelinton's shoulder all the things that he gets tied to. And obviously really naughty stuff goes on there. But look how happy Joelinton looks. I mean, he's having a peaceful life. He's got all he needs, and he's got that nice little rug on the floor for his knees so they don't get carpet burnt and stuff like that. So, John, I think it's a very presentable room for a dungeon, mate. And I have to say, well done for keeping it so neat and tidy. But I have a feeling that floor doesn't stay that black for very long. Nice milky coloured, creamy colour maybe throughout the week. But
it looks like it's very washable though.
Yeah, it's a very washable.
Looks like it'll come up clean. Yeah. Squeegee mop will do the job.
Yes, definitely. Oh, you'll have a few squeegees when the cleaner comes in every couple of days a week. But obviously, we know that there's also some kind of toilet somewhere that flushes a lot. Normally when we're on air, when we do the Four Horsemen, John normally has his cleaner in trying to flush them all the way down the toilet, and it takes about 25 flushes before they eventually disappear down the drain. So yeah, John, thank you very much for allowing us, or not allowing us into your home to see your dungeon, but we know it now exists, and that's the main thing.
I think it's good the way he's converted one of the old the Jim Fulton boxes there that Joelinton's sitting on into some side of sadomasochistic torture rack.
Oh, that's why Joelinton seems taller every time he steps on the pitch, man, because John's got him on the rack most of the week.
There's some school caretaker looking for a big gym box that's gone fucking missing.
So, John, thank you very much for that. I know you're tweeting away on your phone again, but, pay attention to the show, mate. It would be nice. So let us know what you think of John's dungeon, by all means, in the comments. We'll crack through a few more. Newcastle want to sign Andre Ayew. I really don't want to sign Andre Ayew.
No,
not at all. Any of you watching the Olympics once it starts? And if so, which sports are you looking forward to watching? I'm not interested in the Olympics at all, to be honest.
Same, really.
It's in Japan. It's going to be on at crazy times, and I don't think anybody after the World Cup has the bloody energy to watch the Olympics now.
Nope.
Mo Farah's not there; he hasn't qualified, and I just don't see the point.
No,
don't see the point. By the way, as well, lads, guys watching, super chats are again available if you want to donate to the channel. So thank you in advance for that. Chippers, level 7 David is apparently joining John and Joelinton in an ASMR special at 10 p.m, lying on his bed, sucking on a knobbly bobbly.
Oh,
I can't look at them lollies the same way ever again. I'm sorry. I won't buy it. I will never, ever.
Give us Megan Fox.
I will never. God. No, I'll never, ever have a knobbly bobbly again, and I will never buy them. Is it still coming home? Says Mike Sacked. Oh, get lost. Bloody Steve Bruce loving man. What's the final? Just asking for the Scottish, Welsh, and Irish since they didn't get that far.
Jesus, don't wild the Irish. I'm in enough fucking trouble over here as it is, lads.
Evening, Paul, Bazza, PD, and John. Well, Trolls, Bazza's not here. As you can see, Martin's took his place tonight because Bazza is unwell. He's poorly unwell. Messaged me early this morning to say that he was very poorly. So wishing Baz the best of health. Here we go with the conversations again. Evening, everyone. Looking forward to a great show following a disappointing night last night. Yeah, definitely. Ryan says, I flew to Las Vegas late last night with my sister to our second home. 110 degrees here. She's back at work at Disney Pixar making £300 million budget movies. Meanwhile, we are moving in the market finally. Ryan, Chelsea, we can't compete with you guys. And the fact that you're now in Vegas in 110 degree temperatures, I just want to congratulate you on that. Keith says, Paul, what do you think about the 3 England players being racially abused? Well, Martin spoke of that before. It's absolutely disgusting, and I'm not even going to give it the time of day on here because it's just absolute filth. Daniel, good evening. Evening to the Four Horsemen and the chat army. Jules says, what's the first thing Bruce says to his wife after a bit of fun? Well, Oh, I don't even want to imagine that scenario, actually. No way.
Put the dungeon picture back up. Let's get that out of our heads.
Definitely. Daniel says, my bacon is too salty, pet. Dave Harrison is looking forward to the Olympics because he's a keen archer, so obviously archery he'll be looking forward for that. Played awful football the whole tournament. Well, I don't think it was awful, but it wasn't great. And
it was not. It was definitely not fantastic.
Baz is in the chat from his sick bed. Fucking hell, how many comments already? Yes, that's what I have to deal with, Baz, when we start this show. That's why I very rarely get the chance to look at the camera because I'm just sort of basically I'm clearing them for the show just in case they're a bit too overboard for the show, which I've never ever done yet. But you never know. Blame Bruce. Judy's in the house. Just a quick one, then I'm off. Okay. Fine, Judy. Leave us again. And Andy's in the house. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. God almighty, there is bloody hundreds of comments here. It doesn't help that my wireless mouse is broken and I've got to use the bloody pad. Oh dear. I'm sorry, but a lot of comments have just sort of disappeared into the moonlight there, so I do apologize. There's another bloody chat going again. Geordie says, very disappointing the way those idiots have portrayed English football supporters. I hope they get a punishment worthy of learning them a lesson. Listen, I get tired of hearing people coming on the radio and all of this saying, oh, they need educating. You know, these are grown men, most of them. You know, they're grown men. You know, they're not 4-year-old kids sitting in a classroom. It's not all about education. You can't help these people. You know, it's past that now. They need punishing, not helped. They need punishing in the most severe possible way. And maybe take them to John Dungeon and get them on the rack. Do something like that. Extreme pain. Judy says, Paul has asked Lee Charney to be his body double after receiving assassination threats from the Mackhams. Lee said, no, Paul, you blind bastard. There are arse insemination threats.
Oh.
Judy's always going to get one in about arse insemination, isn't she? There is absolutely no doubt. Tangy says, smash that like button and hello, everybody. Good evening, Jose. Chippy says, walked into Blythe Butchers and Joelinton yelled, stick a finger in my ass. Joelinton obliged.
Oh.
Hi, Chippers, got to go. Love you all. Yeah. Notice how she said love you all, Chippers, and not just love you, Chippers. Which, you know, Chippers will now be crying into his cornflakes again. Daniil says, I agree, Joy. The behaviour was disgusting. Baz is obviously asking Judy to stick around. Anyone going to the protest on Friday? No. I can't. I've got the kids, unfortunately.
At work as well. But whoever goes to the protest, I hope you have a fantastic trip and just give the Premier League one of the flipping deserve. You know what I mean? But
speaking of the protest, we have a little message from Amanda Staveley's husband.
Just a quick thank you to all the fans for all your support. Amanda and I are truly grateful for everything that you've done and everything you continue to do for the club, for us, and to get this takeover over the line. We really appreciate it. To the fans that are traveling down to London on the 16th, thank you so much. Every piece of effort makes a huge difference. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We are truly grateful. Now,
to me, that sort of woke me up a little bit when I first saw that on when I got sent that on Friday night. As if to say, you know, these guys are still fighting for this takeover, and you know, this protest can do the world of good for Newcastle United, but not just for Newcastle United, for a lot of football clubs who never get to see what happens when these you know, court cases happen. They don't understand. You know, teams that are sort of sent into administration, deducted points, or nothing happens. You don't get to hear what goes on, and I think transparency is now going to be massive. This really could hammer the Premier League. It really could. Obviously, we know the arbitration case is just to sort of you know, separate the two sides between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and PIF. You know, so if that happens, then I can't see anything stopping the takeover going through. It's sort of cans open and away we go. But I just think the fact that he sent that message, personally, the Newcastle fans, yeah, it's only 30 seconds long, but he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Both him and his wife, Amanda Staveley, seem genuinely, you know, right behind the fans with this. They seem like they really want to come to this club and turn it around and do something for Newcastle United and the area. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't be down there on Friday because I've got a really good excuse. I'm in a different country. Yeah. But you know, if all things being well, I would have gone over and gone down and given support. I think the thing with the arbitration, those if you didn't watch Loaded there last week, we had Ben Jacobs on, and we took a lot of shit for having him on, because he's not everybody's cup of tea. And we got, like you running the comments, we got a lot of shitty comments coming up, but we were determined just to let him talk and listen as to, you know, what he was going to rabbit on about. And I think the interesting thing for me, I actually watched it back a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And when I did, it was interesting because twice during the conversation, he said, you know, I'm fully behind the protest. I think it's admirable. It is with the legals. And I think that's really the only thing that Newcastle need to focus on at the minute. But interestingly, right at the back of that comment, he went, the question has to be, is the current Premier League owners and directors test going to be robust enough to prove that there is no separation? And he doesn't think necessarily that they will do. And I think that's a very, very key statement that we've not heard from Ben Jacobs on other pods he's been on. He's been quite, some would say, very staunch Premier League or Qatari or whatever people want to call him. So I thought there was very much a bit of an opening there.
There was. I mean, I watched that, Martin, and I did actually pick up on that comment at the end when he said that, and I thought, wow, that's a very, very interesting thing to say, and it's something that I haven't heard Jacobs say before.
Very interesting.
I don't necessarily like Ben Jacobs, but at the end of the day, he does what he has to do, and I think he reports from the other side mainly, which is and everybody thinks always against the takeover, etc. Now, when I watched him on Steve Wraith's show on the the Fab Four that he does, when he was on there and he clashed with Keith throughout the whole show. I mean, I don't know whether any of you guys watched that. It was impelling viewing. I couldn't take my eyes off it, because you just didn't know who was going to say what next. And I thought Keith held his own brilliantly, actually, throughout that show. And obviously, Keith, he can't give a lot away when he's on the show anyway. And that's why people get the backs up with him sometimes thinking, he thinks he knows this and he thinks he knows that. He does. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And, he was counter-arguing what Ben Jacobs was saying. And, it ended up being 2 hours of just fascinating viewing. But what will happen will happen. And I'm sure if they can prove that there's no sort of connection between the two and that PIF are going to be a separate entity to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I think the takeover will go through. I think it's just a matter of time, because I think if we win this, the Premier League will say, right, we'll settle out of court. You've got your takeover. We don't want to go any further, because they will not risk any shit coming their way. Richard Masters and Hoffman are bricking it as it is now, because everything is going to come out in the wash. But we'll just have to see. Happy Feet says, wow, Baz has changed since last Monday.
Do everything.
Yeah. Has Barry had Botox? Judy says Barry's become Ray Winston.
Oh,
there you go, Martin. He's been on the show for 38 minutes and already he's had a lookalike Ray Winston.
Do you know what? I'll fucking take that, Governor.
Yeah. Some other knobhead called Daz says, look at the heat of that new horseman. Good evening, Daz. Hope you're well, buddy. But I still haven't forgiven him for the Love Island shit. Like,
exactly.
He started
that's
all
why
that.
I'm on. That's why I'm on here first, you little shit.
Yeah, well, he did.
Come back. Sorry.
Go on, John.
I'll just come back on what Martin picked on the takeover quickly, right, by Ben Jacobs. Mm-hmm. So you're basically saying this now that he's kind of changed his tune a little bit? Because I did watch the show. Do you think he just?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Mate. To be fair, John, as I said to you, we had, and Daz is in the comments there. Daz will tell you, we had a load of people saying, just give Ben Jacobs fucking shit. But
that's not how to run a show.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't do that.
And from a point, there's a piece of it, and I have been in conversation with Ben since the show, and I kind of said to him, listen, if anything breaks, will you do us the favor of coming back on before you hit anybody else? And he's actually agreed to that. So, I suppose that when I've listened to other shows, John, he's been very much, these are the facts. And I think, it's like the Keith and the Ben Jacobs thing when they were on together. You're going to take out of it really what you want. You're going to take out, okay, well, I like that, but I don't really like that, so he can fuck off. Or I like that bit, so I like Keith. Yeah. Or I don't like Keith because Keith tweets and, answers back and tells the trolls to fuck off. So you personally, you're going to take from it, John, you'll take from it, Pete will take from it, everyone will take their own piece. But we did give him a fair grilling, but we did it in a fair way that we wanted him not to close off, to be fair.
Watch it.
But the thing is, Ben's got good contacts, Martin. He obviously trusts his contacts. He trusts his sources, like any good reporter does. He trusts his sources. Now, other people may not agree with Ben's sources, the information that he's getting, but he only goes off the sources that he gets. Now, he reports that people get people don't like it. We say things on our shows, people don't like it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, look at the trolling I got last week, just for, mentioning, people were a bit worried about me, and, I had to explain to people what had happened. And the trolls came crawling under the rocks.
Yeah.
And
we were both in that for a while. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, absolutely.
It was just a disgrace. And Martin, you were quite funny, because obviously Martin backed me up and helped me out a lot with one of the trolls in particular, and just went to town.
I actually enjoyed that, I have to say.
I know you did. He just didn't get the better of you at all.
Yeah.
But
to be fair, that's what happens when you are a fucking idiot. But that's neither here nor there. But
exactly.
I still think it's going to happen anyway. So let's be real.
Yeah,
so
I do. Peter, do you think it's happening?
Oh, I'm still going to be just a little bit
on the fence.
Yeah, I mean, but there's something really going on now. It's really starting to heat up.
I still say any place in the world when you've got someone like the Saudis, money talks in the end.
Yeah.
And also, if the arbitration, I make it clear, if arbitration goes public, for me, that gets a takeover. No question about it. Because you just said they've sent out, so it's going to sell out of court. Because like Paul said, they do not want to risk going to court.
So basically what we're saying is from obviously Euro 2020 ending now, from a Newcastle fan's point of view, the takeover's coming home. That's all we've got. Jason, good evening, matey. Evening, Paul, Pete, Barry 2.0, and okay.
Barry 2.0.
Hello to the Italian John too.
Buongiorno, come stai?
James says John's another loaded boy when Joelinton is around. Oh. Daniil says nice tops. Thank you, my man. Hi, Daz Martin. Hope you're both well. Chippers, guns, Peter. You mean 6 swans?
What?
I think he's talking about the arms. The guns. Unfortunately, I've got them, but anyway, happy features. John is already looking away from the camera. Joelinton is obviously using the waffle maker on his.
You could be in Bristol, you know.
Well, John, it's a wonder because you keep saying, "Oh, I'm not looking away from the camera. I'm not looking away," but like everybody that watches the show knows when you're on your phone or looking elsewhere and are distracted by a big schlong in your face.
Out there, and I'm not even looking at it.
You're just desperate to get back down to that dungeon.
Yeah, that's for you, John. For you and Joelinton.
It's all about the romance. Andy says, John, I'm in a travel lodge in the arsehole of Scotland. The mattress looks like the Predator had his honeymoon on it. Do you fancy doing a watch along tomorrow morning when the cleaner comes in?
I tell you what, I tell my boss I'll take the morning off there.
Looks like the Predator's had his honeymoon on it. That's shocking, man. Oh God, that's not. Les says, do we have to listen to the same song next year? I think they need to come out with new songs now, don't they? I think it's coming home. I think it's had its time. I really do.
Sweet Caroline. What about Sweet Caroline?
I love Sweet Caroline. Me, I mean, that
is already
it's brilliant. You don't care, John, because you're an Italian twat.
I tell you one thing, though. Atomic Kitten have to go back in that box.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Back in the litter tray.
I put the telly on yesterday. I was like, Atomic Kitten on the stage. I was like, fucking hell, I've gone back to 1996.
Well, Sky did an interview with Natasha Hamilton. I swear to God, it was a different person. She doesn't look anything like the Natasha Hamilton that I remember from Atomic Kitten.
So I'm not the only one that's had Botox then. That's a good thing.
Well, definitely not, mate. I mean, she looks like a different person completely. Unbelievable. Peter, you laughing there. What you got in front of you?
It's another one. Oh, Martin, you are getting it this time.
Am I? That's not bad, to be fair.
Well, you see, guys, what you need to know about Martin, it's going to take a lot to shock him. You know what I mean? It's going to take a lot to
bring it on, lads.
Disturb him.
Bring it on.
Unlike me, when you come at me, I flick the switch of anger straight away. Martin's he's more laid back than Chris Waddle on a football pitch. Put it that way. Layla says, "Where were John's eyes crossed? He couldn't control his urine." Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Mike Sack deserved to lose, sat back the whole game after the goal. I agree. Italy with a better side, and I'm not going to argue with that at all. Layla says, which actor does George Pig like the least? Kevin Bacon.
Oh, God.
Pigs in Blankets. It's Coming, Rome. We've heard that one.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
What did Peppa's Pig's parents serve at a sleepover? Pigs in Blankets.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus. Jason says, stand up, John. Do you have them kinky British underwear still on that you wore for Joelinton last night? Yeah. You made a big mistake with that, John Sinclair, didn't you? Just for that brief moment, forgot he was on camera and decided to show everyone his briefs. So if anyone is a very, keen admirer of John Sinclair and wonders, what he's like below the waist, check out the watch along on the rerun. I can't remember what minute it was, but John does show his Union Jack briefs, which I have to say were a lot better than watching Level 7 Dave go to his ice machine in the background the other week, getting his knobbly bobblies out the freezer. That is just a sight that I cannot clear out of my head at all. Connor says, you and Peter suit the Matty Longstaff and former Toon player Ki Sung Young tops. Okay. Daniil says Grealish could have changed the game. I agree with that. I think Mason Mount should have been off in that second half after 65 minutes. Grealish should have been on, and I think it would have been a different game because he came on in extra time. We looked the stronger team again when we went to 4 at the back. But
the other thing as well, can I just say, what does Foden have to do to get a game?
Well, he was injured yesterday, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah,
okay.
He was injured yesterday, but I agree.
He could have made a difference.
Foden didn't play anywhere near as enough as I thought he might.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to, because I think Foden and Grealish and Sterling and Kane could have been a hell of a front four. If you go 4-2-3-1 and you've got Foden, Grealish, Sterling and Kane, I think, that changes the game for me. Yeah. The pace we've got within the skill. Yeah. I mean, Grealish and Foden's skill against those two granddads yesterday could have just done it all.
Massive.
You know what it is? I mean, it's so annoying. Charles says, do you have poltergeist, John? You keep looking at the ceiling. Charles, that's because he's wondering what's dripping from it. Sorry, John, I just had to do that one.
No.
Happy Feet says Southgate should have used Grealish or someone more experienced for a penalty instead of Saka and Sancho. I mean, what got me was, and I agreed with Alan Shearer at the end of the game when he said, he brought them on with like a minute left in extra time. They didn't get a touch of the ball. And then they're expected in England's biggest game since 1966 to take a penalty. I mean, I could not get my head around that. Surely you've got to have players who are warmed up, who've had touches of the ball and who've got the timing going. And I felt sorry for them. I really did. And, Rashford, that stupid run-up. I just wish they'd get rid of these stupid run-ups.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I was just going to say same thing. Like, stop that tippy-tappy step-up shit.
Exactly. I mean,
exactly.
Rashford's been known to blast them in the roof of the net.
He's got some good penalties for Man United. Some
Why didn't he just do that? Try that.
It's the same with Pogba. The piss of the run-ups.
Doing that kind of crap.
It just does my head in. You wouldn't see Shearer doing that. You know what I mean? Shearer just puts the ball down, runs up, blast, get in. That's what we needed.
Well, Zalano's a good penalty taker as well in his time.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. He didn't hang a boot.
Exactly. Luke Shaw's goal was the worst thing that happened. Had England been losing 1-0, I think we would have upped the game and went for it instead of sitting back. That's a lot of people have actually said that. We scored at the wrong time. And sometimes in football that happens. Keith says, why didn't Grealish start?
Because it's Southgate. He got it wrong.
Yeah.
Layla says, why should you never tell John the Pig a secret? He loves to squeal.
Oh, God.
I bet he loves to squeal.
Right?
I bet he has Joelinton squealing in that dungeon, though. Tangy says it was like watching the Toon under Steve Bruce. Once we took the lead, we sat back, allowed Italy to play football. Exactly. Yep. Chip is John piping off Italy. Honest, may as well have Mancini's pants out something more. Chip is, you are a lovely man. Have I ever told you that? Absolutely lovely man. It's neither wonder you can't pull a lass. Layla says, who is Peter the Pig's favourite scientist? Einstein? Oh, dear God almighty. Layla's been reading the Google jokes again, hasn't she? Warren says, evening lads, hope you're all well. Just about recovered from last night, gutted, but the lads have done the whole country proud. Hopefully we'll come back stronger in the next tournament. Will we be able to win the World Cup?
To be honest with you, we've really got Argentina and Brazil coming in as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for England, sort of thing. But, and also, who's Southgate going to pick? He's going to pick the same team for the World Cup. He's going to bring in add players coming in, like Trent.
Yeah. I don't think playing the football, Peter, that we're playing now, if we play that kind of football, we will not win the tournament.
No chance we will.
Not with them.
Not against if we're coming up against Brazil, Argentina, as George just mentioned.
Yeah.
I think the other thing as well is never mind the South American teams. You'll never see the likes of those European teams dropping out like they did in the Euros. You know, Germany and Holland, Belgium.
Yeah.
You know, that sequence of events up to that final yesterday was the best chance, I think, of England winning anything in my lifetime.
See, but that happened in the World Cup in 2018 as well. You know, it was freakish. We got right through. And I think, you know, these last two tournaments we've played in have been the biggest possible chance of bringing anything back to England as tournament winners. And I think it's only going to get harder now because Holland are going to improve. France are going to improve. Germany certainly will improve. Now they've got rid of the snotty there. And, you know...
Hans Flick is going to turn that team around, Joe. He's going to play his team full of Bayern Munich players, probably at least 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, but Italy are going to get better than they already are as well. So it's only going to get harder now, which it's disappointing, really, when you look at it that way. Jordy says, which league is your favourite out of Serie A, Bundesliga and La Liga?
I like watching La Liga. I really do.
Yeah, I like watching... I don't watch Serie A. I must admit, I find Serie A a little bit boring, actually. But I do watch the Bundesliga and I do watch La Liga. Not as much as La Liga as when it was on Sky. But I do watch the Bundesliga play some good stuff as well. It's no point asking John Sinclair because we know he's got Italian sperm inside him. Martin, what about yourself?
I'll say so quickly. You said Serie A was a bit boring. Well, every week the last season, there's been an average of 23 goals, at least minimum every single week. Atalanta are the highest scorers in the Italian league, and they've been absolutely magnificent. If you haven't watched Atalanta play, I suggest you watch them. They play so exciting attacking football. Absolutely brilliant.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Sinclair, who said he didn't want Italy to win yesterday. I think he's just giving it away. Martin, yourself?
I'll watch anything as long as there's a ball being kicked. I suppose I'll go slightly old school and go with Serie A, but from Gazzetta football times.
Gazzetta, the Channel 4
when it was back in the day when Gascoigne went to Lazio. So that would be my era. The great AC Milan team and that kind of era. Friday. So they're always on a Sunday afternoon, 2:00. Used to sit back and watch a bit of Italian football. So yeah, John, Serie A for me.
I'll make you a promise, buddy. I'll watch Serie A next season, right? See if it changes my mind on it. Okay, I'll watch a lot more of it. I will. I promise. I'll watch a lot more of it next season and see if I can be converted to watch it. Peter, you said La Liga. I mean, do you watch much Serie A?
Not as much, but I just loved watching Messi and Ronaldo in La Liga at times. The way they would just dominate that league.
It was crazy. Daniil says Italy controlled the game in the second half. We did not test the centre backs enough. 2 shots on goal in the whole game says it all. You know that 29% possession. I mean, that is touching on Newcastle United tactics. You know, and you know when you look at the stats at the end of a Newcastle game, that's what I would get. Stats are normally like 29% possession. That is not going to win you anything. Layla says, why does no one believe Peter's stories? He tells porky pies.
Oh my God, Layla.
You're struggling tonight. The tackle by Jorginho was X-rated, without a doubt. Who is Pepper's favourite painter? Pig Castle. Jordy says, Italy played dirty last night. Jorginho should have been sent off. And also the other Italian player, was it Bonucci, who pulled Saka down from behind? It wasn't the sending off. That one on Saka, but the one on Grealish from Jorginho, I think we've all agreed tonight that was a red card. And I don't understand why VAR didn't check that. I mean, the commentator said, you know, it has to be a clear and obvious error from the referee. Well, for me, it was an error giving him a yellow card. It should have been a red.
Exactly.
So that's where the error comes in. But what do we know? Who's this as broadcast rights? I don't know how the league do this. I'm not too talking about there, but England players diving the whole game.
Italy were just as
bad. Are you having a laugh? Give our man. Honestly,
Italy were just as bad.
Yeah, we know what Mike Sack's like. He comes on and he just, he says that he loves Steve Bruce and all of this, and he says comments to wind us up, and it works most of the time. Keith says it was a horrible tackle, should have been a red card.
Yep.
Just saw that NUFC want to sign Lazaro again. Frankly, if you think he has something to offer, why did you sell him in the first place? Well, we didn't sell him; he was on loan. Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley need to leave ASAP. Don't care where. I mean, the thing that worries me, Pete, is we are going to struggle next season the way it is now. We've got obviously 4 weeks to the season kicks off. It's not long. It really isn't long. We've got our first game on Sunday against York and Harrogate. So, the season's creeping up. We're certainly not going to get the takeover sorted before the season starts. So where do we go? Because come January, if the takeover's gone through and we've got new owners, they may have to spend big in order to get us out of a shithole again.
Well, it's just typical ownership at this club. Yes, a takeover is talks going on in the background, but we need new faces through the doors. Not to mention, we need some of these players out of the club who just aren't good enough.
Yeah,
we haven't signed Joe Willock on a permanent deal, have we?
No.
Well, what's happened with that?
No.
It's just...
Martin, what's your thoughts?
I think it goes back to the original piece I said earlier on, lads. I think Ashley has pretty much put the keys in the letterbox, and until this either goes through or it dies on its ass, I don't think he does a thing. I think that's why we've seen some of the players getting extensions on the deals. I think it's just to keep squad players.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as this goes through at some point. But I think without it, I think the club is fucking dead in the water.
Yeah, dead, without a doubt. John, I know you feel the same as me. We've discussed it many times about, what we've got to look forward to early doors, and it's dreadful.
You know what it is? I mean, I had to agree with you guys as well. I mean, if this doesn't happen to takeover, you're right. I think the club's done. Absolute done. We'll be fighting relegation from day week one. And it just goes to show it's a massive club, it's an institution at the club, and I'm afraid it's just so devastating, but not surprised.
Yeah. Guys, we've had an hour of the show and it's been extremely football related. I am shocked and stunned by this show tonight. Martin, it's like you brought a bit of calm to the Four Horsemen show. What I would like to see in the coming minutes is more comments about Martin's lookalikes, because I think he's getting away with it tonight. Considering it's his debut on the show, we need to give Martin a bit of hammer. Obviously, keep hammering Pete and John, and I'm still brittle, so keep just lay off me for a bit longer. But guys, you're enjoying it, like I say, smash that like button, help us build the channel up. And if you're not already, or you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. And obviously, like I said before, super chats are available if you want to donate to the running costs of the channel. That is entirely up to yourself, but I appreciate that in advance. Jason's got another comment here. All 4 refs last night, 3 were German and the 4th was Italian. What you make of that? Germans had it in for us eliminating them, and the Italian always rooting for his own. He was Dutch, the referee, wasn't he?
I'm sure he was Dutch.
Yeah,
Dutch. Yeah.
He was Dutch, mate. He was from Holland, so I don't think he had it in for us, mate. Jason, you've had a nightmare there, son. Go and take your face for a shit and come back. As I said, red all day long on Grealish. Layla says, where did Mummy and Daddy Pig, which are Paul and Peter, go for their honeymoon? The Tropical Islands. Oh, God.
Oh my! What?
The Black and White Knight has joined us. Hail, hail! Royalty. It was just like Bruce Ball, score first and defend 90 minutes. We could all see the Italy equaliser except Southgate. Yeah, we all said on the watch along that it was coming. Without a doubt,
it was coming.
Yeah. Batty the dog, go for it. Hard case with a beautiful smile. I think Tony's talking about my tweet earlier today where, obviously, if you don't know, I have put a deposit down on a Rottweiler. It's my dream dog. I've wanted one my whole life. I currently, as you know, have a golden retriever. And if you actually have a look at what golden retrievers crossed with Rotties look like, they are the most beautiful dogs I have ever seen. So maybe get a litter of crosses on there. But all I know is his dad is 10.5 stone in weight. I saw him yesterday and he is absolutely huge. But they are, for me, one of the most fantastic dog breeds there is. They've had such a bad name in the past for people sort of mistreating them, etc. But they are fantastic dogs. So I can't wait. 4 weeks' time he comes home, and I'm sure he'll be a lot bigger than what he was when I saw him yesterday. But I'm trying to get a name for him. The kids have come up with some. My son says Godzilla. I can't really see me screaming Godzilla in the park. So I've told him we can have Godzilla as a middle name for him, because I refuse to go to Chester Street or somewhere like that down by the river and shout. He's running off and I'm going, Godzilla! People will come out with white coats and take me away. Bruce, I've had Bruce, Dave, so there's all sorts of names coming. So it's brilliant. David Batty the dog sounds quite good because he was a proper little Rottweiler on the pitch, wasn't he? Paul says we scored, then parked the bus for 70 plus minutes with our attacking flair and Italy centre backs holding the high line. We should have tested them. We're not good enough. Sorry, but someone had to say it. Look, you're right. We all know at the end of the day where the problems lay during that match. Bilic at the World Cup and Mancini last night showed the difference between a manager and an FA frontman. Nice bloke Southgate, but again shown to be tactically deficient. I feel he let the players down again.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Paul comes out with some very, very tough comments, but they're normally true. Go on, Peter.
Oh, Martin's getting it now.
What is that? Oh, who is that?
Well, let's see what it was. Martin, the Shawshank Redemption Warden.
Oh my God! God Almighty, he's gone into
fucking clutching there, lads.
Definitely. What song does John Pig's family sing on New Year's Eve? Old Lang Swine.
Oh my word.
Barry says, when setting up any social media account, we should all provide ID. So if you're a dick, you get punished, barred, or arrested. It's an easy thing to do. There is a petition going around to get this started.
Quite likely so.
I mean, it has to. Something has got to be done. And it's like I say, it's not us as the public to do anything about it. It's the companies that need to do this. And you can't tell me the millions and millions of pounds that these companies make, they cannot come up with a system that detects racial slurs. Because they do it with swear words. And somebody said bloody the other day and got a 2-day ban off Twitter for saying bloody. I mean, come on. It's mental. Ada, why you got a number 4 on your shirt? Is that the number of seasons the Mackems has been in League One? Yeah, we know that's going round. That's why the number 4 is on the front. Jose wants us to sign some new right backs.
Do with backup to Mankio, I would say. Because Kraft is garbage.
Well, he's a Swedish international. He did play in the Euros.
Oh, true. But that was towards the end of the season in the Euros. But the rest of the time he's been in Newcastle.
You do know there's a possibility that you're going to get hammered for bringing his name up, Peter, because we know
Oh, God.
People have linked you with him before.
I know, still.
Happy Feet says the new shirts look bad with the collar. The white clashes with the black on the front, and the Fun 888 is way too big. Not many stripes either. I don't know whether you lads saw on Twitter somebody put a concept up where Fun 88 and the badges were in gold.
Yeah,
and it looked like it looked a different strip. It looked really, really smart.
I seen the one that went up yesterday. I think that it was actually inverted and the collar was black. And the sponsor was in black as well. I thought it looked way better.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see a Saudi sponsor on the front would be nice come next season. Again, we'll have to see. Daniil says Southgate is tactically deficient. Kyle, good evening. What's this about Rafa wants St. Maximin? I'd be pissed if he tries. He's going to try. Fine well he's going to try.
I would put it past it, Paul. I wouldn't go past it. Because he does not. I think it's happened in Newcastle. But he does want to fight another relegation. You know what I mean? But my advice to Alan is stick with us until we get a 2-over, and then we'll not lose out.
The thing that worries me though is right. Rafa knows what Mike Ashley's what he's like for money, okay, to get money in his pocket. So he could go to the Everton owners and say, look, if you offer him something he cannot refuse, he will not refuse because he's so damn greedy. He'll take the money because he'll take the money over the player. He does not care about Newcastle United. So it doesn't mean jot to him if we sell St. Maximin. He's not going to give a damn. So all he'd be bothered about is pocketing the money and sodding off.
Yep.
So that's my worry, that obviously Rafa knows what Ashley's like and can play on that.
I don't think he's a Rafa player, though.
No, well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
And I say that from a point of, I don't think Rafa could be asked to manage the temperament. You know, when an ASM just, having a bad week and then fucking off on a plane to France. I don't think Rafa would put up with that kind of shit. So I think we're safe holding on to him. I don't think that's going to happen.
And also, just coming to this one, Martin, if he is going to go, for me personally, I would not sell him to another English club. There's no way.
Absolutely not. Not in the Premier League, John. You're right.
Spain, Italy, right? I'd love to see him in Italy, by the way, if he goes.
Of course he would.
But at the end of the day, man, just not to another English club.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you send to an English club, right, we are going to be a big.
But this is Newcastle United, and Mike Ashley doesn't give a shit. I wouldn't sell
him to a middle of the league club like Everton anyway. So,
no English club.
Get your dig in there, Martin. Get your dig in there about the Evertonians there. I've seen what you did there. Yeah. Quality. Leila says, what's John's favourite ballet? Swine Lake.
Oh my God.
Geordie says, I agree, Barry. ID seems to be the way forward because IP addresses can be used anywhere, so it's harder to track the idiots down.
And you can VPN.
Yeah. Ryan said, we just sold Olivier Giroud for 2 million. We bid 60 million for Declan Rice, 150 million for Haaland, which shocked Dortmund. Don't they know who our owner is? Well, Giroud, I believe, went on a free, actually. I don't think it wasn't 2 million. He signed on a free. Having said that, it doesn't really matter because it's not like Chelsea need the money. I think Declan Rice, is he worth 60 million now? I don't think so.
No.
He's way overpriced. Haaland, again, 150 million for a guy that's, yes, he's played in Germany, but, he's unproven in that. That's a lot of money. And the signed Werner last season, who was prolific in Germany, and he's struggled in his first season. Now, that's not to say that Timo Werner won't go on and be an absolutely fantastic striker for Chelsea, but the risk is there. But money grows on trees at Chelsea anyway, doesn't it?
I think Werner's another Torres for Chelsea.
Look at Shevchenko as well. Yeah. Look at when Chelsea's bought big on Shevchenko, sort of thing. For me, one of the best strikers in history, right? Yeah. And he goes to Chelsea and he struggled.
Yeah, I remember.
Shevchenko, Torres. Werner's another one of them. Sometimes you got to play a goals and just doesn't hit. Doesn't happen.
I think Torres was done by injury when he went to Chelsea. I think because if you remember, he was out for a long time at Liverpool. He came back, then Chelsea came in with a bid. I think Liverpool knew exactly what they were doing there, offloading Torres.
Touched the bullet. I think Haaland's a beast, though. I think wherever he goes, he scores goals. He's a freak of nature.
It'll be fantastic to see him over here, to be honest. Yeah. Billy said, couldn't understand the lineup last night. Mount as a left-sided forward when we had better alternatives on the bench. Told me that Southgate was shoehorning players in irrespective of their best positions. We've said that a lot during the tournament that, he's got his favourites and he will stick by them no matter what. And I think he's very keen to play his favourite players. I got a shock last night when my youngest daughter, who's 13, came into the living room. She'd pinched an England top from somewhere. She'd painted the English flag on her cheeks. And then I looked at the mobile phone and she had a bloody Mason Mount screensaver on the front. and I'm thinking, now let's just slow the boat down here. Footballers on their phone. And then she's coming tonight and it's a different one of Mason Mount. But I love Mason Mount as a footballer. I think he's a tremendous talent, but I just didn't think he had the best of games last night.
No, I didn't.
How do John the Pig and Peter the Pig greet their grandparents? With hugs and kisses.
Oh, my.
Leila, what have you been smoking tonight? Boycott the Premier League badges on the shirts. I don't get them on. I refuse to.
I did.
Oh, you
you traitor.
You get out of bed on the morning, Peter, put your Newcastle shirt on, run out the bedroom as if you're running out the bloody tunnel. I bet you play local hero when you get as your alarm clock.
Alexa, wake me up.
Before you go.
Oh, God. I might have known he'd come out with a wham lyric.
Hey!
Ron Bennett. Connor says, I think we needed Sancho and Rashford to start instead of Mount last night. He's a player suited for central attacking midfielder. Why is no one talking about Rashford's penalty?
Oh,
we
did that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was poor. The big run up and then I don't get it. Why sprint up and then stop 4 yards from the ball and then start doing little... It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. And it doesn't put the goalkeeper off in any shape or form.
He knows what's
He knows what's coming. Yeah,
of course he does. What karate move did John the Pig try on Miss Rabbit? The ham chop.
Oh, my God.
Daniel says Southgate did not react quickly enough. I agree with that. He didn't. The young English lion has had so much stuff thrown at him. He's changed his name to Bukaki Saka. Billy, that's rotten. Did you know that Joachim Löw's favourite artist is Picasso?
Yes, Mum.
Sorry?
I am out in a minute, Mum. Sorry.
Oh, God.
What the hell?
What was that? Mum, I'm on the show.
What the fuck? John, you could mute yourself, you know. You've got a mute button.
It's just me, Mum.
Well, I know it is, but you're live on the show.
Sorry, I did.
Do you know the good thing tonight? I got the invite to come on. I said to Daz, do you know what? We'll go on. I'll give it a lash. We'll see. Because, there's definitely a way to grow the subs. John's on shouting to his mother, and I'm thinking, what have I fucking done?
Hey.
Oh man, honestly, sometimes I think John forgets where he is. He just gets up and walks away.
Exactly. I'm taking notes, so get one of the lads to get their mum to shout. That'll get us a few more views.
You know, he's gone to smack a frying pan over his mum's head for shouting on the show.
Get in the dungeon.
Or if he comes back with a sweat on, he's gone to see Joelinton. What did John and Peter the Pig have yesterday? A picnic.
Oh my word!
Why is everyone wearing four?
Yeah,
yeah. It's because we're celebrating Sunderland's fourth season in League One. Oh no, fourth season since they're in the Premier League, isn't it? Not League One. Southgate will only get England so far, and I don't think he has what it takes for England to win a tournament. When he goes up against the likes of Mancini, Enrique, and Deschamps. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens in the World Cup.
If Southgate went, just posing one out there, would you have somebody like Lampard?
I'm not sure I'd take Lampard just yet.
Yeah, a bit longer.
I actually think Arsene Wenger for a couple of years might, I know he's aging a bit now, but I think, hell, if Roy Hodgson can waddle out every game, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think somebody like Wenger, and I think Wenger would probably go up against these European teams better than what Southgate can, because obviously he's got the experience and things like that, But it'd be interesting to see who would come in. Bazza says unbeaten in 3 years, 34 games in a row, Italy. That is incredible. I'm going to knock John. I'm just going to take John off for now because I'm sick of looking at his living room wall. If that is indeed his living room wall, I mean, it may well be a part of the dungeon that wasn't on that photograph. And for anybody who has just joined the show, I'll just show it again. This was taken in John's house last week. We have found his dungeon. We have found where Joelinton lives. Steve Bruce, obviously in total shock that he's found Joelinton and where he's been staying. So that may end. Obviously, he's got his Colgate there. He's got the blade and races on the back of the door. And obviously his rack and stuff like that for when he has his nights alone with Big Joe. He's back. You decided to come back, have you?
I had to shift my car, Paul. I had to shift my car away.
All right.
Sorry.
Get something to eat at the same time. Or are you just chewing on some of some love juice. Oh God, I'm not even gonna. Right. Billy says, despite the standard of refereeing being so good in the tournament, I felt last night the ref was shocking. Jorginho should have been redded. Why VAR didn't get involved, I'll never know yet. We've mentioned that. It's a very, very strange one. What does Joelinton do when he gets injured by John? Joelinton calls the ambulance. I think Layla's picked up on the Peppa Pig thumbnail, and she's definitely running with it. It's fair to say tonight. Happy Feet says, when Joelinton entered John's basement, he saw it was bigger on the inside. Asking if it was based on Doctor Who, John replied, no, it's based on Peter's glory hole. No. Ian says, not a fan of the home 4 kit. I hope our away kit is an improvement. Well, I've seen a potential away kit, and I'm not sure.
And did you see the pictures of the stadium jacket that have come out today?
No.
Oh, fucking horrendous.
Horrendous. Oh,
yeah.
Is it that one? It's Sports Direct. It gone for about 90 odd quid.
It's one big black stripe down the middle, the badge on two bits of white either side, and then half and half black arms and 2 big thick black stripes on the back, and then a tiny little castor and the logo. A fucking 95 quid for a stadium jacket.
I'll have a look if it's the one I think it is. I might have a picture of it.
Haroon, good evening. There is some news. If it is confirmed Italy have cheated, then England are champions. I think you're picking up on that joke tweet that went out earlier today, Haroon.
Yeah, Carlsberg.
I must admit, it got me. I was halfway down and I was about to retweet it, and then I realised, and I saw Newcastle United, and then I saw a username next to it, and I thought, what?
I nearly got held on the one with Graham Jones where it said he'd taken up.
Oh yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? That's it now. Oh man, I'm depressed enough, and now bloody we've only got Bruce.
We've lost Jones. We're in deep trouble. Kira says Pickford tried his best. I reckon he couldn't have done any more. Look, as much as I don't like Jordan Pickford, right? I think he had a fantastic tournament. Couple of mistakes here and there, fair enough, but I think on the whole, I think he's been brilliant. I really do. And it pains me to say that, given my distaste for him and the club he plays for.
For Jorginho's save alone, I will give him credit, but that's the last time I will ever mention his name.
Yep, there you have it.
Was it not that one, was it?
That's it, is it? Or is that a mock-up, or is that the real one?
Yeah, it is.
So.
Yeah, it looks
that's
like
it. That is horrendous, lads.
Do you know, that reminds me of the early 1980s Newcastle shirt. You know, when we just had and it was made out of literally your nana could knit it.
Yeah. And there was one that came out when we had the Asics kit. There was like a black and white jacket came out, like a bomber jacket. It was like a denim-y kind of feel. Maybe before a lot of people's time. I remember.
I do as well, Martin. You know, we're not all young'uns. You know.
Yeah, good man.
I mean, you know, John's coming up 60. He still has. McGregor broke his foot for 400 meters, £400 million payday. I won 80k betting on Dustin. Listen, Ryan, I don't care how much money you've got, right? You keep rubbing this in. Shocking. Spinazzola before his injury.
Good call.
He's obviously saying about player of the tournament there. Spinazzola, yeah. Chippers, God, stop John piping off Italy, man. You will have plenty of blowies to go around. Does Bruce ever stay healthy in his life? Not really, no.
He doesn't, by the way.
Is this the censored version? Censored version of what, Daniil? I don't know. Billy says, Bruce says, I had a Vindaloo last night and don't know why my arsehole is in tatters. Mrs. Bruce says, ring sting. So Steve Bruce says, why? What would he know about it?
Oh my God.
Ring sting. Honestly, Billy. By the way, everybody, while we're on the subject of dates, Mr. Sinclair, as you've basically told the world, you had your second date with a lovely lady on Saturday night. I believe you went for a curry. The question I think everybody wants to know is, which base did you touch upon?
No, it's just a nice, lovely meal.
Mm-hmm.
And for a couple of hours, sort of thing, and a drink, and that's it. So,
answer the fucking question, John.
Go for it, man.
Come on. Did you bring it back to the Love Palace?
Nah. Post the second date, man. I'm not gonna.
Well, John, I think on the third date you should, without a doubt, tell her about the dungeon, because if she sees that without you mentioning it, and she walks in and Joelinton's basically strapped to a rack naked, I mean, you're gonna have to say something.
Well, I'm not gonna come on. I get the feel. I get the drill. I bet you get the drill. Niall
says, good evening, lads. Unlucky last night. Some of the abuse towards Saka, Sancho and Rashford online was bang out of order and just not proper football fans and keyboard warriors. They need to educate them. Just the best way to educate them is to stick them all in a big boat in the middle of the ocean and blow the sodden thing up. Get rid of them. Tangy says it was the same as 2018 World Cup this Euros. We relied on the kind side of the draw. To be the best, you've got to beat the best. Well done, Italy. Can't disagree. Billy says, when is Ronnie Corbett going to tell us one of his golfing tales? Ronnie Corbett, Martin. That's...
Well, I don't know. I actually haven't got an answer to that, but it's good night from him and it's good night from me.
It should be good night.
Brilliant. That's a brilliant comeback.
Yeah, actually, that's the best so far. That's the best so far.
Yes, without a doubt. I do apologize. My glasses are steaming up again. Jesus Christ. I keep forgetting to put my contact lenses before going.
I'll tell you what, though, if there was a little bit of darker hair and a little bit of grey hair on Paul there, we could be taken for the two fucking Ronnies at this stage. Look.
You cheeky bastard.
There's a little bit of it.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that, Martin. People are going to pounce on that now.
Yeah,
you do realise that.
That's me off now. That's me last.
That'll be you in the bad books and Daz back in the good books.
Yeah. No, in fairness, he shouted fucking Love Island. I can't be that bad, lad.
Well, that's fair comment.
Yeah. Let's not get carried away now.
No, let's not. Chip, this is sorry to disappoint, John, but that Colgate you have been having is not Joelinton's cum. It's actually toothpaste.
Oh.
God almighty. Daniil says it's the only place where Joelinton scores. Joe says, crack that whip, said Joelinton. John replied, saving the arm for fisting the night away.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
See, all the comments are coming in about the dungeon now. Happy Feet says, if John has a bin for condoms and is sponsored by Colgate, he can be experimental and mix the two. Fill one with toothpaste and pain. Oh, God, no. Oh, don't want to think about that. Connor says that is some bloody dungeon. The only thing John needs now is a cage to pleasure Joelinton. Mike Sachs says Steve Bruce is the GOAT. And as I said that, it's met with an air of silence. And so that's exactly what we think of that comment. Evening, lads and Martin. Evening, lads and Martin. As if like Martin's not a lad, he's just some freakish character sitting in the bottom corner there. Not worth being called a lad.
It's like loads of people are watching going, what's wrong with the fucking show? Who's he? What's fucking Ronnie Corbett doing on? Is my stream wrong?
He's come back from the grave. Pepper and George love jumping up and down in Joelinton's diarrhea.
Oh,
God almighty.
Thomas, you're getting worse.
He is. Thomas is definitely. I think if we did awards for the most worst improved comments, then it's going to be him. I've lost loads of comments again. I am sorry, but it's not me. It's StreamYard. With the Fun 88 sign where it is, it makes it look like there's a number 4 above it. And Keith wants to know where you're broadcasting from tonight, John.
Downstairs in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
So,
just for those that wonder why he asked that question, John tends to be in a Premier Inn or some dirty dungeon or Wembley Stadium. He could literally broadcast from everywhere during his 9,000 streams a week. Haroon says Bruce in. Give our Haroon.
No.
If Rafa goes for ASM, it will be a massive stab in the back for us Newcastle supporters. And Ryan wants Haroon out. Was it Ryan that you said had trouble commenting, Peter?
Oh, he thought he blocked you on, was it YouTube? He couldn't apparently comment, but...
I don't know what happened. It wasn't me. Definitely not. Tom says Southgate should have let Grealish and Stones take a penalty last night. Certainly Grealish. I will hate Rafa if he takes ASM from us. Ooh, strong statement.
Fair point.
Stu says Bruce out. I couldn't agree more, Stu, to be fair. We need ASM. He's our best player, says Jabba Dabba. Jabba Dabba Do. Jabba Dabba Do one. That's a quality name.
That's a handle.
Yeah. Ray Fake Fan. Okay. Bruce out, says Joshua. Paul says, call the dog Sunderland, then you'll always be able to say, stay down, Sunderland. That's a good idea. Chipper says, Rafa didn't want him when he was at Newcastle, so wanted Everton. Ryan says, Haroon, you're a muppet. Oh, it's getting a bit...
tasty now.
Yeah. Jason says, John, are you ever going to clean the sofa and walls? Makes me feel sick seeing yours and Joelinton's love juice all over the place. And use your bloody green screen, or has that gone white?
I used it last week, but...
John, you didn't know how to use it. You just thought you'd put this green screen up and then magically behind you, you'd be like in front of Niagara Falls or something. You actually have to put a picture there to work with your green screen.
Hello.
Is it back in the... Where is it now? Is it back in the garage?
No, it's just underneath the stairs stand there.
Right.
I might be too late getting it out, though.
Okay. Go on, Pete. I thought you had a picture there.
No, I didn't.
No.
Not this time.
I'm getting an easy ride now.
Oh, Haroon's now calling Geordie a fake fan. Oh, dear.
Wow.
Ashley out, says Joshua. Geordie says Rafa didn't want ASM at the Toon, so what has changed? He's now calling Joshua a fake fan. It's getting heated. Bruce out, says Thomas. Jules says, but don't think he dares to sell ASM, at least not until the arbitration is done. I wouldn't put your money on that. Haroon, you're an effing clown. Ryan, Haroon, you're a fake man living with mummy. Should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, Haroon's normally got some decent stuff to say. I don't know why he seems to have had some kind of meltdown tonight, calling everyone fake fans. Happy Feet says, for this club to be good, we need rid of Bruce, Ashley, Joelinton, and Kraft. Don't say that in front of John. My God, you'd be... I mean, John, have you prepared for the moment that we get rid of Joelinton?
I said it many a times, Paul, that time. It's just not good enough. I mean, if anyone wants to buy the guy, I wish the guy well, wherever you go to, but it just hasn't been good enough for Newcastle.
No.
Fitness tests and viewings could be done at John's house.
Definitely the fitness test. I mean, Martin, I'll put you on the spot here, like we did with John early doors, a few months back. How much is Joelinton worth? Now, be careful how you answer this, given the pelters John's had for the last 3 months.
How much is he worth in real money?
In real money.
In real money, in current form. I'd be lucky if we got fucking 10 million for him.
Fair enough.
That's
a better answer than Sinclair gives, so you've got away with that one.
Yeah, I'd take 5 if it meant we got him off the pay books and we got somebody else in.
I'd take out for him.
Yeah,
just go. Thomas says, Haroon, are you on cocaine? Oh, it's getting nasty. It's getting terrible. I'm just double checking these comments, lads, because I'm not putting anything on the screen that really shouldn't be there. The voice of calm is Jabba Dabba Do one. He says, calm down, lads. Definitely. Jody says, Mummy wants the dishes washed, so time to go, Haroon. Right, I'm actually going to chuck out Haroon because he's getting racial, so that's enough. Charles says Bruce is inept and has no understanding of fans, so Bruce out. Josh says, go away, Liverpool fan. You played crap this season. You might have played everyone's grandma. Oh, dear me. Who cares what you say? Haroon's a Mackham. Well, Haroon's gone now, so I'm going to... There's so many comments slagging him right off now. Ryan says, yes, your daughter is a Chelsea fan. She made the right choice, Paul. No. This came up on the watch-along last night, and Peter, you remember my reaction to Level 7 Dave when he even suggested that. That is not at all true, right? My daughter is, in fact, a Newcastle United fan. She just likes Mason Mount. She's a young girl. She's grown up. She's a young teenager. You know, she's having these first crushes on people she sees on the telly or in films.
Impressionable is the word.
Yes, exactly. And that is how she is at the moment. She has Mason Mount. It could be anybody next week. You know what kids are like. Having said that, I'd accept Mason Mount as a son-in-law. You know, he's a good guy, but a bit too old for her. So never mind. Paul says it's a stutter penalty and they don't come off that often. He didn't even look at the ball or the goal when kicking the ball. I noticed that about Rashford's penalty. He seemed to be distracted. I didn't feel confident. I certainly didn't feel confident when Saka came up.
I think I knew what was happening.
You kind of knew as soon as he was walking up.
He looked petrified when he put that ball on the spot. He looked petrified,
and he's off. And he was awful when he came on the pitch.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but he looked like he had no energy.
That wasn't his finest half hour last night. He said.
I mean, he was second best to every ball, or the balls were just bouncing off him.
It wasn't that he was second best, Pete. I mean, like we said last night, he just didn't seem to want to go in for the 50-50s.
No,
he was pulling out of everything, and that was frustrating. Chipper says, Joachim Löw is my idol. Lee, did Dickie Masters pay you to wear the Premier League badges, PD?
Oh, God.
Yeah, you've gone the full hog and you've disappointed a lot of people getting the Premier League badges on, Pete. Thomas wants your mum to come on, John.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Tom says, John, you should have taken a penalty last night. Happy Feet says, John, does your mother hear Joelinton in the basement?
Maybe know who he is, to be honest.
Ryan says, John cracks me up. Billy says, John's got his shorts off Robinson Crusoe's washing line. Paul says, his mum's just found the dungeon. That's why he sprinted out of the room. You're getting pelters now, John. Class always guaranteed John will give us a laugh. Chipper says, John off to get a blowjob off Joelinton the Gimp. Oh, dear me. Lampard wouldn't be a bad shout for England manager. Brendan Rodgers would work well with that England team. I mean, there's a shout, Martin.
Yeah, don't think he needs the hassle, though. I think he'd seem... I mean, to be fair, Leicester made some class signings so far this season. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts again next season if Roger gets them ticking, and they don't bottle it like they did the back end of this season. So yeah. We'll see. I don't think he needs it. He doesn't need the English hassle.
Fair enough. Ryan says, Haroon, I think you'll find you're the unpopular one on here. Then probably me a close second. Fair enough. Geordie says, John, you tuned on some Brazilian sausage when you came back in the room. Connor's going obviously off to bed. Good night. Ryan says, Haroon, your mouth has never seen a girl. No, Ryan Sweeney, you're third, says Jules. This is about Newcastle. Get off the live, says Joshua. Look, any fan is allowed onto the channel. I'm just not putting up with the certain things that he started saying there. I thought it all started off as a joke because Haroon's been on the channel loads, hasn't he? And he's commented loads and seemed like a decent guy. He must be having a bad night. Because Ryan, good evening over in Canada. Speaking of Ryan, there's another one with a dungeon. Probably modelled it off John Sinclair. Ryan normally sits in his dungeon on a night time wearing what I can only describe as dead moose on his head. Castoria, sickening, Adidas fire. Yeah, I miss the days of Adidas.
I do, but I like Castoria. I think they do some really good things.
Yeah, I do. Just slightly sort of expand them a bit for the big fellas, you know what I mean? I'm joking, obviously, Ryan. Thomas says, Haroon, at least I have a wife and children and 2 dogs. Newcastle anthem jacket is £95. It's a joke.
Yeah, that's what I showed there, and my God.
I wouldn't pay that much for it.
Shitty Direct selling it as well.
Jesus. Geordie says that jacket will end up being a classic in 10 years' time. People will go mental for it on eBay. Probably. Right. Probably. Happy Feet says, how do you guys feel about Brentford being in the Premier League? I'm thinking they'll go straight down again, but there's always surprises. I don't think Brentford are going to go down.
I think they're going to do all right as well.
Yeah. Ivan Toney guaranteed to come back and fucking haunt you.
Oh, God, you can just see him banging a hat-trick in.
I think everybody's going to go down this season. 3 teams. I think we'll be one of them if we're not careful, I'm telling you.
Yeah, if we don't pull our finger out, we're definitely going to be in the mix. certainly until January. I think if we get a takeover, I think the new owners will spend big in January to get some players in to get us out the crap, and then we'll build from next summer. Really, I've always said all along, though, if we've got a takeover, we have to be sensible. I wouldn't expect them just to plow billions into the football team, and it's going to be a slow process. Get a couple of signings every season, build up a team. Build up the training ground, the stadium, the area. It's going to be a process, and I think a lot of certainly the younger supporters are hoping that this takeover comes in, and then suddenly we're buying Mbappe and all of this. That's not how I see it happening.
No.
Yes, we'll get a marquee signing every now and again, without a doubt. But early doors, I think we're just going to get a team that competes a bit better and starts progressing up the league, and that's what we want to see. Jonathan says, "Hi, Paul, mate. I like the new Toon home top for the new season. How much are they?" Well, it depends where you go. Over here, the 65 quid, which is for me a rip-off, but football tops are always going to be a rip-off.
That's the thing.
And I got hammered on Twitter the other day because I said on Saturday morning, that the tops, it's a disgrace how much the tops are. And then I obviously bought one, and I got hammered for buying one. But I did not once say that I wouldn't buy one. I just said the price of them is extortionate.
It is.
And then the trolls jump on the bandwagon because my door handle in the kitchen's broken. I mean, big deal. Give us a chance to fix things. I've only just moved in. Christ almighty. Honestly. Twats, the lot of them.
Some people, man.
So that same top is 92 over here.
It's more expensive over there, isn't it?
Yeah. So we got to get it. If I get it from the UK, I have to get it shipped, converted into euro, and then there's obviously, because of fucking Brexit, there's VAT.
Martin, just get yourself back to England, man.
I know, mate. I'm coming. I'm telling you. Had enough. I did. Anyone that did see me tweet the other night, I did put out. I just went, right, fuck off. I'm not paying that. So I bought the home, the goalie, and the training shirt from DHgate for €40. So yeah.
But the problem with DHgate is they used to do massive sizes, right? They only go to 2XL.
I ordered a 2XL because I said I'm fucking making sure these fit because I'm giving them a go for a season.
But the Chinese, the DHgate tops are a lot smaller, fitting. So yes, the good replicas without a shadow of a doubt, but they are
the sizing. Yeah, that 2XL is probably more like in between a large XL.
Yeah,
So yeah.
So
anyway, I said,
because I ordered a 4XL.
I'm not paying 90.
Paris Saint-Germain one once a few years back. I'm not kidding. It's like a sudden crop top on us. It was just not right, which I was gutted about, but never mind. Andy's having a good laugh in the comments about all the stuff going on. Happy Feet says, a curry on the second date. That's a bit daring, John. Either ends up very spicy or very messy. Oh.
Wow.
I think he's talking about toilet roll in the freezer.
Yeah. I had a chicken korma, Peshwan naan. And
korma's not a curry.
It's chicken korma.
Chicken korma's just like eating a Bounty bloody chocolate bar. It's just coconuts.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I love it, but
I mean, I'm not a spicy food fan, but I'll go a bit further than a korma. Charles says, "Don't give him fuel." Joshua says, "That's for you, Haroon." Okay. The cut, ignore him. Chat. I don't know what's going on in here. Jordy says, "John will start spicing it up soon with a Vindaloo."
Oh, no, thank you.
That's risking it now, definitely, especially with that slippy floor in that dungeon.
Oh God, yeah.
That could be risky, John. I wouldn't be recommending that, lad.
Very risky. Jonathan says, "Paul, is the new Toon top out in the club shop yet?" Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I mean, and what I will say about the club shop,
it's a bit different,
refurbished. And at least we're not now selling other teams' merchandise in there now.
Yeah. It's all Newcastle United, and it's all Castoria stuff. So it's
there
perfect.
you go.
Is the shop open at St James's? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Chipper says, "John, your teeth are that bright tonight. I've gone blind." Ryan says, "Oh shit, Colgate isn't come. I'll have to change." Oh God Almighty. Geordie says, Joelinton asked John, "Do you want to dance the night away?" John replied, "I'd rather fist the night away, my guy." My guy! He's put my guy on the end as well. Oh, dear me. Les says, "Paul, you any further into the pineapple on pizza case?" Listen, I like pineapple on pizza, ham and pineapple pizza.
No.
I know, Peter, you disagree, strongly disagree.
I'm with you, man. I love that.
Oh, class, Martin. I knew it. See, Martin is a man of sheer, class.
I will go slightly one stage further. Ham and pineapple pizza with a bit of Frank's hot sauce on. Nothing better.
Yeah.
John would have Joelinton's hot sauce.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
That's the last time I'll be having that now. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I'm just putting you off that.
Back to fucking ham and pineapple. Yeah. That's it.
Bolognese pizza, like it's only bolognese pizza.
Oh, I might have known. Hey, bolognese.
Tell you what, they actually are really nice. So
yeah, they are.
I won't complain.
But Les keeps sending me pictures on Twitter of the. You remember when the Heinz did the baked beans pizza years ago? He keeps sending me pictures of them. I don't think I ever had one, to be honest. But I don't know. I just couldn't imagine a baked bean pizza, man. Jonathan says, "Is the writing going to be red on the back of the shirts again?"
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is, because I got it on mine.
Thomas saying, "Thanks, Paul. You're welcome." Stu says, "It's gone quiet. It must be time for Haroon Tanvir to do his homework." Yeah, I've chucked him off, Stu. He was becoming a bit offensive towards yourself and a few others. So, Chip says, "John Joelinton's come or Joelinton's shit. What is your favourite?"
Oh man,
something wrong with him. Like, there's something seriously wrong with that kid. Paul, do you think Isaac Hayden will leave? No, I don't, guys.
No, I think he'll stay.
He'll stay.
Yeah,
yes,
John. There you go. Categorically staying. Jody says, "Apologies for my comment about Haroon, but he's came on the stream giving us all shite all night." Hey, that's why I've chucked him off, Jody. Don't have to apologise, mate. Like anybody knows, if people step out of line on the stream, I will throw them off, because no matter if they've commented for ages on the shows or part of the channel, whatever it may be, I'll still chuck them off, because I won't accept certain things going that way like they were tonight. So don't apologise, Jody. Carl says, "Hi guys, keep up the good work." Gary says, "Two men got noticed." Oh, here we go. "Two men got noticed like Paul and PD Proudluck, broke into a drugstore and stole all the Viagra. The police put out an alert to be on the lookout for the two hardened criminals."
Oh, God. I've heard a joke similar like that.
Yeah. Well done, guys. Billy says, "Wow, I never realised John Major had an Irish accent and swore so much." Martin's just, has he frozen or is he actually there? Oh, he is moving.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you can do a good stat, you, Martin. I tell you.
I know,
I thought you're frozen there.
That's it. Just not going to acknowledge Billy. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's certainly
I bet you have never ever been called John Major in your life.
Never called John Major, but I can tell you something. Billy's not my number 10.
Johnny says, "Martin, do you know where Dublin is?" Just asking for Shea Given.
Yep, just down the road from my gaff, mate.
There you are. Paul, is Isaac Hayden going to leave? No, he's not.
No.
Chipper says, "John has made a new penis stimulator called Viagra Falls." That's a good one, Chip. You've got us on that one. Definitely. Well done.
See, well Billy, done. That's fucking funny. That's funny. Not your shit. That's funny.
Happy Feet says, "John's continental cap just fishes off the golf caddy look." There you go.
I'm going to get a couple of new caps as well, so I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
Jason says the only reason Joelinton isn't good enough is because John keeps him up all night long, pounding the Brazilian meat out of him.
Oh.
Wow. Billy's back. Heard the chap bottom right speaking Italian earlier. How did you get Mario Balotelli to come on this show? He's talking about John.
Because it's definitely not me.
No, John's moved on to the left, obviously, since I threw him out because he just walked off the show again to go and see. Obviously, John had an emergency earlier, guys. His mum found out that Joelinton's in the dungeon. And John had to rush out very, very quickly and sort that situation. Thomas says, instead of Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, it should be John and Joelinton's Diarrhea Factory.
Oh.
Joshua says, am I allowed to go on the live tomorrow if I am 12? Joshua, the fan forum is for anybody. So, I haven't done a fan forum show for a long time. So it'll be back at 7:30 tomorrow, basically talking about England. And then after that, it'll be
We've got the Newcastle quiz coming up, so I still need to get me questions for that. It would actually help if I had any to ask. So I'm going to be busy over the next couple of days putting that quiz together. I expect you'll be making an appearance, Martin, as well as the other guys, competing for the win.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah, it's just like a fan forum. I'll give you the links to come on the channel.
Absolutely.
You come on one at a time.
You realise that Daz will take that way too competitive now because
I know that, but Daz is an arsehole, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. Yep, cracking.
Love you, Daz.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep hammering him because I'll never forget.
Yeah, no, you're right too.
Happy Feet says, frankly, if I had a football crush, it wouldn't be Mount. Maybe a Steve McLaren milkshake. Wow. Billy's back again. Saw an angry fisherman chasing Davy Wonder out of his tattoo shop earlier, shouting, "You dozy bastard, I asked for a pair of Pollocks." Oh, God. Davy Wonder, man. Honestly, that's stuck to him, hasn't it? I didn't fucking see it. I don't know whether you saw that show, Martin. Davy came on one of the fan forums, and it was the match that the fans were allowed back to against Sheffield United last season. And he came on the fan forum, and I literally said, "What did you think of the game, Dave?" And he says, "I don't know, I didn't fucking see it." He was in level 7, and he took the wrong glasses, so he couldn't see what was going on. So since then, he's been called Davy Wonder, level 7 Dave, and obviously everything else. Just you say things on a show, and you get absolutely hammered for it, which is why I will never comment on Joelinton. Because John's already done that. I feel for Saka, terrible decision. Gary says, "What's long, green, and smells like bacon?" Kermit the Frog's fingers.
No, we've had that plenty of times.
That was last week, Gary. We had that last week. Somebody beat you to it. Geordie says, "Lampard would be a decent shout because he's a player the younger generation, such as Sancho, Saka, and Mount, etc., would respect." I get that, and I get that obviously the younger players at Chelsea hold them still in high esteem, really. So, yeah, I understand that. John and Joelinton had Joelinton diarrhea Cocoa Pops and Joelinton diarrhea milk.
Oh.
Thomas has got a thing with diarrhea. Have you noticed that? I mean, most of his comments involve the brown rain, and it's a bit worrying. Geordie says, Brentford will do under Thomas Frank, and even Tony has a point to prove. Yeah. Frank's a great manager. Tony's a great striker. They've got a lot going for them. Hans Schmeller's back, guys. Hans Schmeller. How much is a night in the dungeon, John? I'm into that sort of thing. Plenty to sniff the next day. Oh God. Gary says, John, admit it. I have a tremendous sex drive. My Joelinton lives 40 miles away. Geordie, if the takeover goes through, we've got to be realistic. It's not FIFA. We can't go out and bring Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe all in one season, even though I would love it if we did. Yeah, it's slow build up. Newcastle Blue Star top is only 30 quid, bargain and miles smarter than the official strip. I love the Blue Star top, but again, it's made by Nike, and Nike only go to 2XL. And unfortunately, when you're 6'5", you've got 2XL. I mean, I think I was 2XL when I was born, lads, to be honest. But it is a beautiful top. Have you got one, Martin?
I have, yeah. I've got to order that. I actually put a picture up, and I said, I think this is where Castoria could have gone to if they'd thought about it a little bit more. Yeah. With a first opening gambit, given supposedly where their flagship club. And I said it's a really lovely top for 30 quid, and a bit of money helps out the lower league teams. And somebody sent me a message and went, but you don't support them. Like, fuck off. I still like the top, and it helps the lower league clubs, bed.
I'll be to watch them as well, and I'll be going back to watch them again.
I bought last season's, and I'll buy this season's because the money goes into keeping those clubs alive. Especially when we were deep in COVID this time last year. That money kept them on the scene. So
you know what it is, though?
I'll keep buying lower league.
It's a bit of a daft thing to say about, you don't support them. I've got about 15 football tops upstairs, all from lower league teams, Oxford United, Luton Town, all them kind of stuff, because I know that where the money goes straight to the club, and I like to help in that way. I also like collecting football shirts. It doesn't mean I support them, but I've got Bundesliga tops, I've got non-league tops, I've got Darlingtons and Spennymoors, and
because I've just made a point of buying tops that are black and white.
Yeah.
So John will probably correct me. I think I bought one 2 seasons ago. I think it's like Udinese. I think are black and white. Yeah. I have a Juventus one. I have of a Brazilian team. I think it's Vasco da Gama. I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Corinthians and other ones. So I've just collected black and white tops.
Yeah. Port Vale had a lovely one last season. Absolutely brilliant design.
The new St Mirren top is really, really nice.
St Mirren's got I was just going to say St Mirren as well.
They've had some lovely tops out with Jacko. Yeah, really nice.
So there, you don't have to be a fan.
Yeah, exactly.
You're helping out lower league teams.
Exactly. And if you don't like
Joel says words can hurt, but remember, if you don't know the person, then who the F cares? Chipper says, John, do you sniff Joelinton's seat when he gets up from sitting down?
Oh.
Stu says, Cormer's baby food. Billy says, did John just say he got stuck into a nan?
No, Peshwan nan. It's a coconut, right?
I know where Billy's going with that because he's thinking a bit of a threesome with his girlfriend and his nan. Oh, dear. Club Shock looks weird without Barca and PSG shirts in it. Yeah, well, it will. I mean, when it's dedicated to Newcastle now.
Exactly.
Thomas says, guys, give the pizza with cum bubbles and condoms and Joelinton diarrhea with cream and a cherry on top out of 10. No. No. Trust the two Ronnies to love pineapple on pizza. There you go. Of course you have. You've got to love the stuff. Jordy says pineapple belongs on a Hawaiian pizza just like pepperoni does. That's how I tried to settle that debate. Yeah, Hawaiian pizza, you put pineapple on. You know, that's why it's called a Hawaiian pizza. Let's just educate these people.
The clues in the name.
Exactly. Does Peter not like pineapple?
I do like pineapple, but just not on a pizza.
I don't understand why. Jules says, don't like pineapple, so that's why I don't like it on pizza. That's fair enough. No Good pineapple point. For me, says Ryan. Lee says, goes into a pizza shop once and someone asks for a spaghetti bolognese pizza. I think some takeaways do that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. If you go to the restaurant as well, like Bella Italia and places like that, and they got calzone, he asks for bolognese pizza, you get that as well.
I love calzone. Calzone nice. Is really nice. Pineapple on pizza is almost as bad as John cheating on Joelinton. Tangy says, was Casper Schmeichel blinded by a laser or John Sinclair's beaming white teeth? Les says, what do you call a man with a pile of leaves on his head? Russell.
Oh,
I've heard that. I've heard that one before. That's a good one. Here we go. The bloody... Right. Ryan Stu says Timmy Mallet has let himself go. Have you had Timmy Mallet before, Martin?
No, but we'll take that one.
Thomas wants to know which country you're in.
Ireland.
Does his accent not give it away, Thomas? I mean, you know, there is a sort of twang there.
Yeah.
Happy Feet says, what's worrying me is John doesn't have headphones in, so does his mother hear about Joelinton in the basement? I know, I notice that every time we're on. Obviously, everybody in John's street can probably hear if he's got a window open. It'd be the talk of the town. Joshua says, yes, can't wait. Bet your mother was like, who's that, John, when we see Joelinton tied in that chair down your dungeon? Yeah, she knows now. She knows now. John, did you tell your ma that Joelinton is your guy?
Definitely not. No way.
Derek says, great show, lads, full of good laughter. Keep it. I take it means laughter instead of launcher. Josh says, is Jade and you on it? I think Jade's on it. I haven't heard from her because I think she's been in an alcohol coma for 4 days. But I think she's going to be on it, yeah. Stu says, I got thrown out my local swimming pool because the S fell off my Speedos. Brilliant. Joel says, John has that cap on because he and Joelinton is role-playing delivery man in the brown hole. Oh, God almighty. Oh. Billy says, if you're getting a German dog, Paul, there is only one name for him, Yogi. Yogi. I quite like Yogi actually. I like Bear as a name, Bear. But I mean, you've got to call a Rotty a Rotty name. I don't know why I'm doing this, but you know what I mean. Tom says, I would love to see Mancini at Newcastle as manager one day. Definitely. Right, we're going to rattle through these last few comments before we end the show. Happy Feet says, are those candles in the background made of wax or crusty Joelinton fluff? Oh my God. Ryan says, name for a German dog, Hitler.
Definitely can't go out shouting that.
Can you imagine that?
That's not a doorstep fucking winner in any way, shape, or form.
Hitler! Jesus Christ.
It's like having the worst form of Tourette's whilst walking a dog.
Oh, God. Trolls and Stu, are you behaving? No, they're not, Julie, as usual.
They're not.
Geordie says Gateshead also released their home shirt today, and for those interested about the non-league scene, I haven't seen that.
Shirt. Yeah, it's like a checkerboard, black and white checkerboard.
Yes, I've seen that. It's really nice.
Yeah. Is it? I'll have a look at that.
€30.
I'm sorry, but Paul pronounces it as Nike and not Nike, which is correct.
Nike.
I meant to say Nike. I don't say Nike a lot. I must have said Nike by accident. Ryan says I just couldn't help it. Sorry. Shitler. What do you think, Sweeney? Shitler. Oh God. These two are getting out of control. Jordy says I heard the Rangers fans say that Castoria review supporters' comments and make improvements for next season. I think they will. I really do. Obviously, I think, Castoria will link the big people. Andy Murray has got a closing line out with them. They provide him with all his kit. They are quite big. And I didn't realize how big they are when I first heard of them. But now it's quite surprising how big they are. Julie says, so it turns out my notifications are just a tad behind. Oh, dear. Julie, we're on at 8 o'clock. Ryan says, John got stuck into Joelinton's bumhole. Oh, God. Do you know we'd avoided such disgracefulness until the last 10 minutes? Besiktas wear black and white stripes as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Which Premier League anthem is your favourite? I like Fire by Kasabian, with the Premier League change it every 4 years. I tend not to listen to it, to be honest. Billy says 90,000 at Wembley last night, including Katie Price. Definitely a super spreader. Yeah. He's talking about our legs, guys. Come on, click on here. I know it's getting towards 10 o'clock. We're starting to shut down, but, Keith loves pineapple on pizza. Good for you, Keith.
There you go. Yeah,
Tom
Keith
says jalapeno pizza. Loads of chilies and jalapenos. Jesus Christ. I'll have to get the fire brigade to put my mouth out.
That's not for John.
No, definitely not for John. No. Thomas says, I have a couple of relations from Ireland.
Everybody does, mate.
So do I, actually. John is taking some flack tonight, says Keith. Listen, if you let your mother shout at you when you're live on live on YouTube, then you get up and you walk off because your mother's discovered that you're hiding some Brazilian footballer in a dungeon that's got a rack. You're going to get a bit worried as the mother, aren't you? So I think John's had to go and probably just give her a sort of horse tranquilizer while she deals with the shock. Chipper says John has created a new sex toy sponsored by Black & Decker. It's called a drill ball. Peter, wrong time to drink, my man. Wrong time.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I didn't see.
David says Juve used to wear black and white. Do they not wear black and white now?
Still do. Yeah, still do.
Trulls says great show as always and have fun. Thank you, Trulls. We still got a few comments here. Joshua says, good night, lads. I'll smash the like button for you and see you tomorrow night for the fan forum. Bye-bye. Good night, Josh. Jason says, should call your dog naked so you can shout out, I'm going to walk naked down the street. Flaming hell. Yeah. Hans Schmeller's back again. Joelinton pizza, very expensive, delivered very slowly, covered in pubes. And if you're trying to impress a lady by buying one, you definitely won't score. Pineapple optional.
Good choice.
Billy says, we went swimming the other day and I had a sneaky piss in the deep end. The lifeguard blew his whistle so loud I almost fell in. Brilliant. See you, gang. Take care and have fun. Good evening, Jules. Dunstan versus Gateshead tomorrow night, pre-season friendly, kick-off at 7:30. Come and watch some local football.
Are the fans back in there at Dunstan?
Yes, John. That's why he's saying come and watch some football, John.
Yeah.
For those watching who support other clubs, please do me a favour and share the word with your friends about this show. Cheers, Geordie. Yeah, if you can share it, that would be great. They are from this place called Limerick.
Yep, nice part of the country.
Yeah, I'm good, Sean. Thank you. Last couple of comments. Great show, lads. Belt the show, lads. Cheers, Stu. And sorry about Haroon earlier on. Call the dog Shola, not a chance. Joelinton walks out of the shower, winks at her boyfriend John, and says, "Honey, I shaved myself down there. Do you know what that means?" The boyfriend says, "Yeah, it means the drain is clogged again." Yeah. Lisa's pineapple belongs on pizza. Don't see what the massive debate is exactly. Been a laugh. First time watching all the way through. Great fun. Cheers, Les. Well done, guys, especially Martin. A seamless transfer. Certainly was. He's done very well.
Billy, lad.
Good night, everyone, and thanks for my reward, Paul. Okay. Pedro, says Lee. Right, that is the end of the Horseman Show for another week. Martin, thank you so much for joining us, and you've actually seen out the 2 hours, which is
yeah,
very good of you.
I couldn't leave John getting all the flack.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's been quite an interesting show tonight because we've had the banter, but we've had a lot of football talk, and maybe that's going to be the Four Horsemen going forward. I think it was a very sensible conversations with a few good jokes and some lookalikes.
Enjoyed it. Listen, thanks for having me on. Obviously, first, normally it's me and the lads, so kind of going solo. I'm sure I'll take a bit of flack off the lads. I must give them a shout out. All the boys on Loaded HQ, you know where to find us. We've got to give a quick shout out because I know otherwise Dazzle text me straight after this saying I didn't do my fucking job. We got two shows up on Wednesday.
I was just going to ask you what's coming up on the channel.
What's coming up? Good link in, Paul. Yeah, so we got 2 shows on Wednesday night, which is just music only. So first show 7:30 Wednesday night, I'm doing a full live session with Tom Lumley and the Brave Liaison, a live session from the house, not my house, his house. And then Richie is doing another music show straight after on Loaded Lounge. And then Thursday night, we're doing an early Loaded Mag, which is normally a Friday, because I'm away for the weekend getting drunk down the country. And we've got Takeover George on, so Geordie2302, who came on a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, I've seen that one,
and talked all about arbitration. So he's back on, going to chat all things arbitrary and all the rest of it. So, yeah, that's where we're at. But listen, thanks for having me on. Pete, John, listen, I know I jumped in tonight, but thanks very much. Made me feel very, very welcome, lads. Thanks very much.
Julie wants to know as well, is Chris on next week flogging his lotions and potions, Martin?
He is. I've heard he is going to send a direct DM to John to know if he needs a bit more lube. So, yeah, he'll be in touch.
Hey, yeah.
And just to let you know, guys, we do plan on getting the rest of the Loaded lads on as well.
Yeah, we are going to have
a pretty damn good internet connection where I am now, so I'll be able to get all of us on at once on the show. It should be fantastic. Great banter. I want to do a lot of sort of collaborations with the Loaded guys on various different shows, not just the Horsemen, but reviewing Newcastle United and stuff like that. And because I think it helps to Peter, John, Barry, we all sort of go on each other's channels to help each other out. That's how it should be. Obviously with the Loaded boys as well. Absolute fantastic lads. The description will be down below for their channel as well. So go and give them a subscription. They're trying to build up just like we all are. But great football banter. So we're going to interact on a lot of each other's channels and really build us all up as it should be, without any of the nastiness kicking about or anything like that. We're all in this because we love doing it. We all love it because we have a good laugh. We've met some great people on here, and that's how it's going to remain from our side of it. But anyway, thanks for all your comments tonight. You've been absolute hoot again, as per usual. Apart from Daz, I'm joking. But thank you very much.
You're right to call that out.
This has been the Four Horsemen for another Monday night. We will catch you again next Monday. Join me tomorrow night, 7:30 for the Fan Forum. Come on and have your say about England and Newcastle United, about what you think is going to happen in the coming weeks before the new season. But until then, guys, take care. Good night.
See you, folks.
See you later.
Strong.